Blog Talk Radio.
We are live on LouddMouthRadio.com. This is Jazzie Jones-Smith's beautiful opportunity to come on live today with the Bare Truth Book Review. And today's show will always keep you inspired, empowered, and entertained. You listen to a live feed on LouddMouthRadio.com. You have the opportunity to dial into our phone line studio number at 347-826-7520. If you're also on social media, feel free to tweet or Facebook with us at LouddMouth Radio Network on Facebook and LouddMouth Radio on Twitter and on Instagram. Today's show, the Bare Truth Book Review with Jazzie Jones-Smith and the Empowered Woman. You have opportunity to call in and talk with your show host as well as the guests at any time during this broadcast. As always, it's wonderful to speak to you live, and we'll bring your host in. As always, Mrs. Jazzie Jones-Smith.
Not as always. I love it. As always, Jazzie Jones-Smith. I love it. Welcome, everybody, to the Bare Truth, Love, Life, Sex, and Flowers with myself, Jazzie Jones-Smith. And before I even get started, let me just tell you my favorite flower is the orchid. And so we want to present the orchids that are going to come on our show and talk about the empowerment of women. And I'm so excited to have Dawn on our show today, as well as Yvette. ShaRon Jamison is the presenter of all of these fantastic artists. They're artists in their own right. They're authors. They're giving us their stories and their experiences. Do I sound out of breath? I am out of breath because that's a lot of information, and I'm so excited. And I was running, and I need to lose weight. But anyway, that's another story for another day. We have a show here today that is going to really bring all of you that have similar experiences and your own life stories right into the center of this conversation. So grab your favorite beverage. I know it's midday, but we still can have tea. We can have coffee. We can have your drink. Maybe some of you do wines. I don't know. But grab your beverage, sit back, put your feet up, and let's learn a few things. So we're not going to waste any time. We want to bring them right on and have them tell us all about how this even got started. So, Producer Madam, if you will bring our guests on, I would love that.
They're ready for you.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, how are you?
Wonderful. Who is this, Yvette or is it Dawn?
This is Yvette.
I'm with you here, too. This is Dawn.
Hi, Dawn. Welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you on. Can you tell I'm out of breath? Oh, my God. It's terrible. It's terrible. I'm running in like, oh, my God, they're coming on the show. This is so exciting. So we want to hear all about how this even got started. ShaRon called me a few months back, and she was like, oh, my God, we have to be on the book review. It's coming out. It's exciting. It's so many people that collaborated with it, and just they're bringing us just all of these empowering stories, and that's really how it got the name for the show. The book itself, the title of the book is insane. It's wonderful.
Thank you.
To me, it really gave the empowerment of all of us, and each one of you represent all of us. So tell us how this came about. Yvette, I'll let you start.
Okay, well, ShaRon came up with the idea maybe about 2 years ago, and she was trying to pull everything together, deciding who she wanted to be a part of this project. And it's funny because in the beginning when we started talking about this a few years ago, it was Originally, she only wanted to have about 15 authors, but there were so many people that had such great stories. It just kept growing and growing and growing, and now we have 27 wonderful stories to share with everyone, with all different types of stories, all different types of backgrounds, and everyone is sure to find in something or see something about themselves in one of these stories in this book that may help them get through something they've been through or maybe going through right now. But it's just a wonderful collaboration. I'm very, very pleased to be a part of it, and I'm so glad ShaRon came up with the idea of pulling us all together for it.
And won't she do that? She's just that type of person.
Yes.
For those of you that are not familiar, she's been on our show a couple of times before, and she's such a powerball within her own
she
right.
is.
And to have lived her life and have her own story, to have come through, to survive, to thrive, to teach, to educate, to empower. I could go on and on and on. But she couldn't be with us today, but she was like, Jazzie, we're not stopping. We are going for it because these are stories and information that need to be told. Now, let me ask you a question. How did the title, The Strength of My Soul, the title, just the title by itself is amazing.
Well, we actually, thank you. We actually had another title. One of the other authors had come up with a name, and it was perfect. But unfortunately, there are other books out with titles very similar.
Right.
And we thought that maybe it would be a problem with being confused with the other books, or we didn't know what types of rights other people had. So we had to go back to ground zero and start over.
Right.
And we just brainstormed until something came out that caught all of us. And we were just, it just came out. It was not one person. We were going back and forth with different things. And when this title was put together, we all were like, perfect. This is perfect, because it really is about the strength of our souls. Women are so strong, and we can persevere through anything. And it truly is about the strength of all of our souls to get us through what we're going through. So it's perfect for us.
Totally agree. And to have it say, even in the subtitle, Strength of My Soul, Sisterhood Stories, triumph. Just for me, I'm such a word person. So when you give me words that make me feel like I'm gonna make it anyway, and that I can overcome, I'm already stuck on the word. Like I'm already like, that's the message. It's preached. I understood it. I'm done, and I can go on. And to be inspired from all of the stories and the experiences, because we have to have examples of how we can triumph, how we can overcome, how we can go through. And literally with that, I'm saying go through it and not stop in the struggle or stop in the challenge, but we can go through it and then come out triumphantly and be inspired by our experience and look back and go, how did I get over? How did I make it through? And then to be an inspiration to others. It's just an amazing title within itself. It makes you want to stop and read what's being said. Now, having said that, Dawn, 27 women, am I correct, are a part of this collaboration?
Yes, 27 women. I'll never forget how I met you on Facebook in February of last year, and we both said it was divine intervention because you were looking for stories, and I had a story. And I know that, when we're doing our soul's purpose, that the right people, the right connections and resources show up. Yep, it happens.
Exactly. I am amazed at, I'm amazed and I'm not amazed. Let me put it like that. I'm in awe of us rising as women beyond the social static, and static meaning the clingy, the mess, the sparks that normally fly when 27 women get together. and trying to come together with a common cause. Most people think it cannot be done, and in a lot of instances we found in, programming and community outreaches and different things that we've been a part of other organizations where you get a bunch of people together because we are so strong. A lot of times that strength can be the breaking point of something very good. But for 27 people to get together and say, let's come together, one, with the title, and two, with the messages and how those messages need to be packaged and put together so that they make a difference is amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, kudos once again to all of you that have come together to put this type of packaging together to make a difference in each of your lives. So what I would like for you to do, and I'm sure both of you have the book right there, right? I'm sure.
Well, actually the book, the paperback has not been released yet. It will be released later, I think, next week. And just in time for our book signing, thank God, because we're having a launch party book signing on the 31st, so we will be prepared for that. But everyone doesn't have their copy yet. It will be here in Atlanta at a facility in Decatur.
Okay, wonderful. I know ShaRon sent me over the blurb. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to pull all of it up, so I got it and then my system crashed. So what I wanted to do was have a little bit of each of your stories that's in the book. You don't have to give a lot. You don't have to give, don't tell it all. But tell a little bit of how your story made it into the book.
Dawn, you can go
Either
first.
One.
How did my story get in the book?
How did your story, what was compelling, without telling it all, what was compelling enough to make your story, and not from the idea of someone else looking at it per se, but what was it that made the difference in your specific story? How is it going to impact? How is it going to be that triumphant inspiration? Just a little bit.
Well, my story is mostly about, overcoming my disempowerment, and a lot of it's around workplace bullying. I was a government whistleblower, and the thing is that if you go to statistics like in Forbes.com, you'll find that last year they did a study up to 96% of employees deal with workplace bullying. So I wrote my story for inspiring others because, the short story is I stood up to 2 years of horrific bullying. I ended up in the mental health ward and have a very, very good ending. And maybe I will keep that a secret so somebody will read about in the book.
Oh, my God. Listen, I got chills like, okay, can I just go on and get my copy to pull up real fast? Oh, my gosh. Oh, my God. You know what? That is so needed. That story alone could have been an entire book because it really does happen. Our producer, Sonny, and I both have been approached about bullying just in the workplace for being LGBT or having equality presented in the workplace and how that affects us, much less not just LGBT, just being a woman, just seeing the injustices that happen in the workplace for gender-specific people. And so for you to be that and to be present and on our show, I just feel so honored, like, I got her on the show. And telling the story. So, after the book is out, definitely we want everybody to come and buy that. But I would love to have you back on because we do have a segment this year that will be talking about that. So I would love to have you back on. But that's wonderful. And to hear you alive and vibrant today is amazing. So kudos to you for that. So we won't tell everybody your ending, but we're happy that you're here because we know it didn't end right there. So fantastic. So Yvette, tell us a little bit about how you made it in the book and a part of the collaboration and all right-hand woman, as they would say.
Well, my story is about at a very, very, very young age, I was told that I would probably not be able to have children because of some medical complications and some things that run in my family with my mother, her sister, my grandmother, which was a tragedy to me because I've always wanted a big family. I pretty much grew up alone, so I really wanted a big family, and I never really had family. As I got older, I had the fortune of being able to adopt my first child, my son, and it was the most wonderful thing in the world because he was my blessing that I thought I would never have. Luckily for me, I was more blessed than I ever imagined I would be because some years later I married and gave birth to 2 daughters.
You better do it, girl.
So my story made it in because people, well, especially for myself, you know, at such a young age, you don't think that other people are going through what you go through, but there are so many women who can't conceive or think they can't conceive, and I just wanted to show them that what the doctors say is not always the final result. And to just have faith and believe and keep trying because what's supposed to be will be.
That's so
fortunately for me, I have the family that I always desired.
Oh, you're going to make me bring out my tissue with my coffee. You know what? Congratulations. And, you know, on that note, so many people do need to hear that story. You oftentimes hear, we have a good friend, actually, it's a good business relationship as well as a personal one. She and her husband have been trying to get pregnant and have a baby for years and, you know, not being able to hold the babies if she does get pregnant or be able to, you know, bring it to fruition that she would ever have a normal pregnancy or this or that. And so for her to announce on Christmas that she was pregnant was like the biggest excitement.
Yes.
After so many years of not being able to. And then she is so passionate with outreach and she's so giving. And to watch her, you know, get baby things for other people's baby showers. And she'll be on posters saying, you know, this is a family who got pregnant or, you know, they had some kind of hardship and we need baby stuff because she has such a heart for having a child and then being so upset when children were mistreated. And so for her to finally be able to say, I'm pregnant was, and it still is because she's, I forgot how many months now, but, you know, she's going through all of the morning day sickness and she's like, I'm hanging in here, but this thing is kicking my butt, but I'm so happy. So, you know, it is an excitement when you surpass the doctor's report. And I know that there's a great scriptural parable that says, whose report will you believe? And it really does come down to your inner faith and knowing that either way, whether it's pregnancy and or adoption, because I do believe that either way it is for you to be a blessing to a child and for that child to be a blessing to you. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And having that story to make it. I'm going to have an amendment page put in the back of the book because I should have been in there somewhere. I'm just saying, just putting it out. That book number 2
I hear
needs to start with my amendment page because to be able to be amongst, and that's why I started the show out of breath, but still started the show out saying that all of the stories that made it to the book are a representation of all of our stories in the Sisterhood because there is an example for each one of us to take hold and say, yes, I've experienced that. And yes, if you can make it, I can make it. And or, yes, maybe that's what my best friend or my sister or my aunt or a cousin, you know, maybe that's what they're going through. And now I have an example of what that feels like. Now I can have a little more empathy and not talk about my sister, but I can actually be a help and a support to our sisters because I think a lot of times as women, you know, we do get caught up in the rat race and we get caught up in the I have to be better than you, that competition, which is really such a joke. You know, we don't have to compete. We have to support and we have to encourage if we're to make it as a whole, as a collective.
Exactly.
And so, you know, I am proud. I'm very, very proud that, you know, one of the stories or several are my example, and that I'm able to speak vicariously through each one of you women that have made it in the book. But I want to be in the second book. I'm going to send a text to ShaRon Jamison. You've been on this show 3 times. And I want to be no, I'm just kidding. I'm really kidding. We have such a great relationship. She's an amazing person. Very, very, very proud of her. And all of the things that she's doing. And to lay this groundwork and platform and say, let's collaborate, once again, is really, truly amazing to be able to do and gather women and strong women, because we are, you know.
We definitely are.
We are, right? So what else do you want the world to know? Because this is going to be in all the Kardashians on Stitcher Radio and Intune Radio. And so everybody's going to run out and get this book because they're going to be so inspired to be triumphant. And we want them to know how and what and where. So tell them again how they can do, how can they get the book, and when can they get the book again?
Okay, well, we're doing pre-sales right now, so they can order. I'm thinking our website will be launched today, thestrengthofmysoul.com. The books can be ordered there. Each author has their own page on the website, so you can go to each author's information and contact them if you know something in their story resonates with you. You want to ask them some questions. You want to follow them on social media. We also, The Strength of My Soul, we have a Facebook page, a Twitter, and Instagram. So follow us everywhere. We will be updating every week, loading information about where we will be speaking. ShaRon is already setting dates and making plans to have us tour with this.
I was just getting ready to ask.
So, yes, we are touring. She set a couple of dates yesterday. We were talking on the phone, and we were finalizing some information. So as soon as we get everything set in stone, she'll start having it put on the website, because we are going to make this book a movement. Make it a movement.
And it should be. It should be. The title alone is a movement. And then to bring the stories behind it, I'm serious. It's so incredible just in the title. Let me ask you this though: what is the youngest person? Like if I was a very young person, and I know you said you were diagnosed young, but the youngest author in this book, do you know?
The youngest author was 13 when we started. I'm not sure if she's turned 14 yet, but she was 13, and her story is phenomenal. Wow. And
I
oldest,
love that.
Or most seasoned author is in her early 70s. So
that is incredible.
You know, we have
so it's something for everybody.
Huge range. It's something for everyone. Yes.
That's incredible.
Definitely.
I knew that it was going to be that way. That's why I'm like, let me ask this question, because, you know, a lot of times when you see books, you're like, well, I mean, that's cute, but it's, you know, that's for people in their whatever age or that whatever stage, and so it does not, you know, represent me, so I don't really need to have that. Or we always have to kind of twist it around and make it be, well, it's talking about this, but I can kind of apply it. So that's wonderful that everybody will be able to see something in their space, race, and age and experience, so that they'll be able to take something from that. And I think it's positively fantastic that you guys are going to go on tour. And I'm going to be right there with my amended story on stage. And they forgot my
didn't
page.
Forget. I hear you.
No, what I'm going to say is I run late sometime. I did not get in my page.
I hear you.
Ladies, thank you so very much. I am looking forward to reading more of the content of the stories that are in the book, The Strength of My Soul, Sisterhood, Triumph, and Inspiration. So, presented by who? ShaRon Jamison and Yvette.
ShaRon Jamison.
Yes. So we really are
Thank
proud
you
of
so much.
all of the work that you do. Dawn, thank you so much for sharing that. I can't wait to hear more about that because we definitely, need to hear more women tell the story of coming through that because, the big bad boys are something. There's something out here in the workplace. So that's definitely needed. Once again, when is the book signing?
It is January 31st from 6 to 9 p.m. It's at Jolie Events in Decatur. It's 5240 Panola Industrial Boulevard in Decatur, Georgia. And if they forget and they want to look us up on Facebook, just to confirm the information, we're The Strength of My Soul on Facebook as well.
Perfect. Ladies, I was going to say and gentlemen, and then I had to remember, ladies and gentlewomen, thank you so very much for coming on and sharing with our audience this information. We're definitely going to take it, use it, learn from it, and grow from it. You are welcome back to the show anytime. We have, of interesting information to share. I would love for you to just pop on. Make sure to like our page, and that's at LouddMouth with 2 Ds Radio Network on Facebook, and we're LouddMouthRadio.com for anybody that wants to come back and archive this show. You're able to hear this almost immediately after we go offline. We'll be available for podcast and archive listening so that you can learn all about this great and wonderful experience. And that's really what it is. It's an experience. Although it is a book, it will give you life-changing experiences and circumstances. And so we want to definitely follow them as they grow and take over the entire world, because that's what we do. That's what we do, girls. That's what we do.
Exactly. That's girl power.
Girl
who runs the world?
What, girls? Don't even do it. Don't even do it, because I will get up and start dancing and hurt my back again, so we're not going to do that. I'll be laid out on the floor, and y'all can't see it on radio, so we don't want to do that. But thank you so very much, and you have done, ShaRon, so proud.
Thank you so much for having us too.
Thank you
so much.
You're so welcome. I'm gonna turn it back over to our wonderful producer, and she's going to give us some information, and we're going to close out. Thank you again, ladies. Have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon.
You too. Thank you.
Yes, thank
you. Amazing. As always, we want to invite you guys to listen in to our live show on LouddMouthRadio.com, and our studio line, 347-826-7520, is always available whenever we are broadcasting live. But do not fret if you actually are just coming into the broadcast, didn't have opportunity to hear from the beginning. Roughly in the next few minutes, this extra show will be available for archives, and you can pull it right on up on your cell phone, tablet, or computer. We are actually streaming directly through blogtalkradio.com/LouddMouthRadio, and as always, we'll reach and tune in with over 50 million active listeners worldwide. You can find us on TuneIn under LouddMouth, and that's 2 Ds. Got to make sure you put your 2 Ds in for LouddMouth Radio Network, as well as on Stitcher Radio, which is reaching over 5 million in-car dashboard systems. Again, put in LouddMouth Radio Network, and you can archive every show that we had from the very beginning. Speaking of which, this year marks 3 years for us. January 25th was actually the first day as a network that we broadcasted and started out with our wonderful network, and we're just so delighted. Jazzie, it's been a climb, and it's been a wonderful experience. It has, and we've grown in so many areas I cannot even begin to explain. So I'm going to encourage you guys to stay with us as we broaden into new shows, new content, definitely
and new cities.
New cities, new conversation, and we're going to always invite you to connect with us on social media under LouddMouth, LouddMouth. Make sure you put those 2 Ds in. But we are available on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Google+. And we are also so excited about our new media host, Sterling Powell, coming out of the Tampa Bay area at large. So we're just going to continue to keep bringing you things that we know that feels close to the heart. Hopefully we'll empower you, inspire you, and entertain you in that process. So as we conclude this broadcast, we want to thank our guests for coming on today and had an opportunity to speak vividly about a wonderful piece that is sure to delight and touch some hearts. So make sure you connect with them and visit them as they get ready for their book opening. And as always, we want to thank you directly from LouddMouth Radio Network for tuning in. I'm your producer and media host, Sunny. Jazzie, wonderful job. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye-bye, everyone.
You're listening to the LouddMouth Radio Network.